meeting to order. What time is it, Floyd?
7:31. 7:31.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Before we start this meeting, I would like to state that, as we all know, I was arrested on February 12th of 2015 for super drunk driving. As a representative of this township community, I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed, and I'm humiliated. Although my depression and alcohol use is very personal in nature because I hold public office, the public deserves to know how I'm addressing the issue. That being said, I intend to take full responsibility for my actions. I'm currently seeking treatment to deal with these issues, and I'm trying to move on in this chapter of my life. I hope tonight's meeting can be focused on township issues and not my personal affairs. Lori, you want to do a roll call?
Sandy? Here. Matt?
Here.
Kelly?
Here.
Ken?
Here.
Lori here.
Okay. With regards to approval of the agenda, I would like to take off unfinished business, item number 2.
Here it is.
Sandy, do you have any additions or deletions you'd like to make?
I want to add one thing.
Under, okay.
It's regarding compensating for the regional dinner that you had got approved last month for $30.
You went under
And I went
new
ahead and
business?
I went to it, yes.
Okay, item number 6. So, what do you want to title it?
Dinner.
Dinner?
Yeah.
MTA dinner?
Yeah.
Approval of MTA dinner.
Okay, thank you.
Here, I got some pass.
Anything else? Sandy, do you have anything else? No. Matt? Ken? Any additions or deletions?
I have it for the consent agenda, so I can wait.
Does Ken have anything?
I'll see which one she's gonna do. Mine is gonna be on the payables,
The accounts payable?
number 2.
Okay.
I'd like to take those off until we can get some of that discussed.
All right, I'll do mine then. I believe Pat Runyon wanted Lisa Marcus Pressman added to number 4A, continuing education for the Planning Commission to go to the Metropolitan Planning Commission annual workshop.
Okay,
So it'll
and,
be 4 instead of 3.
okay, and I do have, she didn't include that. She did include that when she did the budget for the Planning Commission, so, because I noticed that there was 4 in there. Yeah. So if anybody wants to look at that, she included 4 people already. Anybody else?
All right, so I have added, or deleted is unfinished business number 2, added to the new business number 6, approval of MTA dinner for Sandy, and under the consent agenda, removing item number 2 and making it item number 7 under new business for discussion, and under consent agenda number 4, adding Lisa Marcus Pressman to that request for training.
Okay. So, that being said, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second. Oh. Go ahead, Matt.
Matt?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Then I will motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
Question on the consent agenda.
Uh-huh.
In regards to the, there was a question from one of our residents, past board member, about the voting on money issues. In the Cottrellville Township Board of Rules of Voting, on number 5, it does state that we should do a roll call on any money issues, and we did not. How does that affect anything that we did at the February 11th regular meeting?
And what Matt's talking about is the Cottrellville Township Board of Trustees rules of voting. So when Vi was talking about there being a policy at the last meeting, I'm thinking a policy, like in the policy book, when it was actually in our rules of voting. And then Matt happened to notice it in the rules of voting, so I think that we should do a revote on them.
All the money issues from last time?
Is that what you think too?
Well, I'm questioning, it doesn't seem like
Well-
it's correct.
Well, I agree with Matt, because we voted on that as the rules of our voting, and it's in there.
I don't have a problem with that. We can look at the minutes and go through if you want.
Okay.
You, see what
Yep,
it thinks.
that's what I think we should do. So that would be Jonathan and,
Well, we would need to go back to the consent agenda because we have monies being approved to spend under the consent agenda. So we would have to restate your motion for the consent agenda, and then we can do a roll call vote.
okay.
Let me get a new piece of paper. Okay. Under the consent agenda, at the last meeting, I made the motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, and Supervisor Pacelli seconded, so I'll renew my motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
No second.
And you seconded.
All in favor?
Roll call vote.
Oh, jeez.
I got lost there somewhere.
Lori, yes. Sandy,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Next one was new business item number 1, motion to approve $3,855 to Hearing Consultants for asbestos abatement specs and asbestos assessment of a garage at the waterfront park. Actually, I would like to correct that, because I notice later on, under item number 7, if you look at the minutes, Sir Med had mentioned that new business item number 1, the amount should be $18.55, not $38.55, so we need to correct that amount. We never did change that amount and vote on it.
Instead of 3,855, 1,000?
Yep,
800.
1,855. So I will make a new motion. Actually, who made that motion? Oh, Sandy made that motion. Do you want to amend your motion, Sandy?
For 18,
For 1855?
yes.
Okay. And I seconded. So the motion would be to approve $1,855 to Hearing Consultants for asbestos abatement specs and asbestos assessment of the garage at the waterfront park, and I seconded that.
Okay. All in favor?
Roll call
Roll
vote.
Roll call.
Sandy,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Lori, yes. Redo the contracts with the roll call? We approved the contracts, but within the contracts is money.
Mine.
Mhm. Yeah, Don and Jonathan, it's both.
All right. I I made the motion to approve the contract with Don Chop as superintendent of DPW, and to include the sexton language in Jonathan Chop's contract, into Don Chop's contract as superintendent of DPW/sexton.
I second.
And Kelly seconded.
Can I have a question on the motion?
Uh-huh.
Since then, we've had some discussion on the intent of the language. Some of the language, I don't have the contract directly in front of me, but there were some questions on there, and speaking with our employees and questioning that, I wonder if we should go back to the drawing board and review so that we understand.
I think we should take an extra step then at another time. Right now, we're just correcting the way we voted on the minutes.
I think he's talking about the contract itself.
That's
Some
what I'm
of the
saying, though.
wording.
We already approved it in these minutes. We're just going back and doing roll call votes for what we did in these minutes. If you want to now change the contract, you need to bring it up again and give us what it is you want to change. Because right now, we're just correcting the minutes. This was already voted
Okay, I
on.
understand,
It's been
I understand.
passed.
All right, I understand. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So,
So you have a motion on the second?
Yeah, in a
Right.
second, your roll call.
well, the second was Kelly. Still Kelly?
Yep.
Kelly?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Lori, yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
All right. Motion to approve contract with Jonathan Chop as laborer DPW sexton. I made the motion to approve the contract with Jonathan Chop as laborer DPW sexton, to include the severance pay language, the same as what is in Don Chop's contract, include it in Jonathan's contract, and approve the contract for Jonathan Chop for the laborer DPW sexton. And that was seconded by,
I
Yeah.
seconded it, so I'll second it again.
okay. And Ken?
Yes.
Lori, yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Okay. And then we tabled the Duluth, so there was no vote on that regarding money.
Okay, item number 7 will be the next one.
Alright. I made the motion to approve the payment to Huron Consultants in the amount of $7,500 for SAW grant work, and it was seconded by Matt.
5750, you mean?
Actually.
He corrected it.
He corrected it, and we voted on 7,500.
Oh, I see it at the bottom, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I second.
Lori, yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Ken?
No.
Okay.
We're done with that one.
And I think that was it for the money.
What about this one? Do we need that or not?
We already did a roll call vote on that one.
Okay.
Now if I can read my scribble. Okay, with that amendment,
Alright.
I will renew my motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Are you seconding it?
You seconded.
Oh, I second it.
I second it.
And this is on the consent again.
Right, as amended.
Well, I don't want to prolong the beginning, but I have another question regarding the consent. We have listed March 26th, a budget approval meeting. I don't know if this is the time to do it, but if this is our last meeting prior to that, we have to reconcile numbers, don't we? Or to me, it would seem appropriate to reconcile our numbers as best possible before we put the following year's budget out for our representatives.
At this point in time, if I may, Kelly,
Sure.
that has to do with the topic that was mentioned last month. It really has nothing to do with the consent agenda right now. I guess you could add that as an item for discussion under new business.
Okay. If we could,
All right,
thank you.
so now we need to go
Number
back
8.
and- All right. So budget workshop, or budget adoption discussion?
Correct.
All right, then we need to go back and reapprove the agenda as amended. Ken, would you like to amend your motion
I second it. You mean to approve the consent
to
agenda?
approve the agenda?
agenda.
Oh,
as-
okay, I move that we now approve the agenda as amended.
Okay. And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And now I will renew my motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Anyone wishing to address the board on agenda items? Okay, moving on to unfinished business, motion to approve the contract with the Mariscan Minutes on Demand service for $500 per year.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with the Mariscan Minutes on Demand service for $500 per year.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Roll call vote.
Yeah, it's money.
Jesus.
A question on it, since it is money. And I saw the presentation, obviously, last month. They did a nice job. It looks like a nice option for our residents. Whose job is it? I know we've been fortunate to have some volunteers that helped get that up and running so far. But we're spending money. Whose job is it going to be to maintain that at that high level that we've seen?
The Ameriscan to get
Yep.
them the information?
Who scans it, keeps it in?
Here's what,
I mean, I hate to see us spend the money and then we don't do anything more after tonight. That's all I'm saying.
okay, here's what happened, how it works, and he touched on it last month, but it was hard to follow if you weren't involved in it. At this point in time, what's being scanned is what is not on my system. It's all archived documents, it's being scanned. Anything I have on my system as a Word document, I can change it to a PDF and I can upload it. So if it's something that I create, it's up to me to put it up there.
So it's that simple, too?
So when I save it, for instance, when I do the agenda, when I save it, I can just do a save as and then upload it at that time. So it's real easy, I don't have to pull everything and sit there for 2 hours doing a bunch of stuff.
So it's you that does it?
So
That's what
for-
he's asking.
Yeah, for that part, yeah.
The clerk's
And
office would
If
do
the
that.
treasurer wants to put her reports out there, then it would be up to her to save it as a PDF, and we'll get her set up to do that, or if the supervisor wants anything put on there, so it's pretty much,
Okay,
you know,
Well, I just-
it would be my goal to get everything out there,
right.
because that's what I envisioned it for, was for the transparency of getting everything out there. So, and if you recall, when he talked about the uploading of our old documents, they do it for free.
Right.
I get them changed to a PDF file, I send them the batch, they upload the whole thing and make sure it gets to the right spot on the webpage, so.
All right, I just wanted to clarify. Thanks.
Any more discussion? Can you restate the motion, please?
Sure. Motion to approve the contract with Mariscan Minutes on Demand service for $500 per year.
And Ken seconded.
I second.
Roll call.
Kelly?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Lori, yes. Hold on, I'm writing it behind myself. Sandy?
Yes.
And Matt?
Here, yes, I'm sorry.
Under new business, item number 1, motion to approve $3,905 to Huron Consultants for SAW grant work, cleaning and televising plans.
I'll make a motion to approve $3,905 to Huron Consultants for SAW grant work, cleaning and televising plans.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, Don approved it, so.
Okay. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Roll call.
Roll call. This is gonna kill me. And I have to start putting roll call.
Sandy,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Lori, yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, discussion on engineers report section on the agenda.
That was a request by Sir Med, so I'll let him explain what he wants.
Good evening.
Okay, so
Lori and I talked last week about a status report, just to give the board a snapshot of what we've been doing and give status of each project that we've been working on. So I emailed the board a template that we use for other municipalities. It's basically a list of the different types of projects and the current status. And typically I send this a week ahead before your meeting. This way you have it, and if any questions, any comments or any revisions to the report, we change that and add it to your packet. It's a very useful tool. It gives the board a chance to look at all the projects on one sheet, and if any discussions or questions, like I have one today for the specifications, that we can talk about it during the engineering report. So we will have an item on the agenda that says engineer's report, and it will have that status. Most of the times, no questions, it's just receiving a file for your records. But that'll give you a chance to, have a discussion on any project, get an update of any projects that we're working on. Like tonight, I have a question about the specifications that we sent 2 weeks ago. I would like to move ahead and finalize this book so we can have it available for the contractors on March 26th. Your DPW had reviewed it and approved it with some revisions. I know I recommended your attorney look at the contract language. We've been using this for years, so it's been set for many contracts, but it would help if John looks at it and make any comments. If there are none, I would like to move ahead and finalize this book and the plans and have them ready for bids on March 26th.
I can, and he's back from vacation. Monday or Tuesday?
The 14th?
14th.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be Saturday then, okay. We can, because he was sending an email for it, so I can ask him to have it like first thing, and then when we have our meeting on,
Just add it to the.
yep, add it to the agenda, so that way you'll have it on the 26th.
On the 26th will be planned pickup, so I need some time to make any revisions. So if we can get his feedback by the end of the week.
Oh, you want his feedback?
Yeah.
I can just have him email you
Yeah,
his feedback
that's
and
fine.
CC it.
Yeah.
And then,
And he was CC'd with
that's how
all
you
the
wanna do it.
emails, so he
Right.
has access to these documents.
Is this something that the board needs to approve?
Your DPW recommended, I believe, if you want to put it on the record, Don.
Yeah, I went over the specs, other than adding you want the whole area videoed before they start any work, so that there's no problems with stuff. It's always been, would return right back to what it was when it was cambered. But it's a good, he's got everything covered in there. I agree
Well,
with that.
my question on that then would be, is it something that may incur more money than what you have given us as a quote? I mean, if you guys are changing something in that, or approving something in that is going to incur money in some way, shape, or form. The board needs to look at it and approve it. We can't just say, okay, well, Don liked it, and Sir Med did it, and John said it was okay. The board has to look at it and approve it.
Correct. The scope of work will change. This addition, it's a minor, I mean, I think it's like a 1% out of the project. But it depends what the prices, the contract price will be. So if we have to delete that item, it's being too expensive. Again, the bids will be coming in, and we'll make a recommendation to the board. I'm not gonna sign it.
Okay.
The board will sign it. And if
Well,
there are any
if something happens
questions,
that your budget is underestimated for one reason or another, that maybe the people that are doing the x-raying, whose expense is that, yours or ours? Because we went off of your numbers.
yeah, and that's just an estimate. Again, we don't know how the bids are gonna come in. They could come lower or higher. Now, there are reasons for them to come in lower or high that we're gonna look at. And if they make sense, we're gonna recommend approval. Now, if there's a difference, the grant have other tasks that we can reallocate and shuffle money around that we can cover for the TV and cleaning. So if we can cover it from a different task, we're gonna reallocate the money, and the state is okay with that. But if they don't make, let's say they come in double, just, contractors are busy, or, the wrong time of the year, for whatever reason. And if we can't do it, we can rebid, or we can adjust the scope of work. We can do a bunch of things.
When was it you wanted to have the budget workshop?
26th.
If you give it out to 26th, when is it due back to you before our next meeting?
The advertisement,
Yeah,
Did we have something coming up on Tuesday or Wednesday that we could,
29th.
okay.
no,
That'll
of
be
next
the-
week?
Of the cabins.
No, next week is the
the
15th,
26th is when the
16th.
Same day.
thing is.
Right.
Same day. The asbestos bid is due on the same day are these plans. So we have two things going on the 26th.
Right. No, I'm not talking about the 26th. I'm talking about if we need to have a meeting next week to make a decision on anything.
Well, we
You don't
can
have
do
to.
the budget in the afternoon at 1, so that way, because the specs are, we don't have to do nothing on it,
No,
right?
you don't have
Yeah,
to
we don't
approve.
have to do nothing on it.
No.
It's just when they're due.
All right.
Because this is just a technical document. I mean, your
Right.
DPW looked at it, reviewed it, and approved it. To answer your question, Ken, March 26th is the plans pickup date. The bids are due Thursday, April 23rd.
Wait, and the meeting that I'm talking about is next Thursday,
Yeah.
that I want to do with him. When we're doing-
That'll give us about a week
Get to item
before
number
your
8. It's next Thursday.
board meeting,
Keep forgetting my
so
word.
we can make a recommendation for your
And then
approval.
do the final one on the 26th.
Okay, and the bid opening for the cabins is still for the 29th of this month?
26th,
26th is
Same-
the opening, or?
same day, yeah.
Okay.
I believe it's at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, 11 o'clock.
And I would like a board member to be present,
I can be there, I have it down on my agenda.
just to open the bids. Normally, the clerk receives the packages, so I will be here with you, opening them and reading them out loud and logging all the bids together.
All right, is that something, something that I should post so people can be present if they wish to?
It's just for the contractors. We're not approving anything,
Right.
yeah. We're just
But
opening
if-
the
But
bids.
if the
If we're
public wanted to
opening-
be here for the
It's-
opening, there,
It's an open bid, yeah,
you can put
So I
a
would
sign
need-
up to
yeah.
let them know there's gonna be a bid opening.
yeah.
All right, I'm
You don't
sorry.
have to, but yes.
What days, well, I think it's a better thing for,
March 26th at 11 a.m.
all right, I will post that.
And then Ken, also there is a pre-bid meeting, April 2nd, that we're gonna meet with
On the
all.
saw
Yeah,
grant, no, okay.
that we're gonna hold a meeting here, meeting with the prospective bidders to make sure that they understand what the scope is.
And you got the ones that Don recommended Tom recommended somebody, and you've got somebody, is that right? So we got three,
This,
at least, to bid?
yeah, no, this one we're gonna advertise. And I meant to ask the board, do you have a membership in MITM?
Nope.
No. That's the most effective agency to
Didn't we already talk about
advertise.
getting that?
April 3rd at what time?
We can add that.
10 a.m.
into the budget, because we budget so high on the, yeah.
Now, if you don't have a contract with them, I don't know what they charge for advertisement, but that's a lot more effective than the local newspapers. And
Right.
I will contact them, find out how much they're gonna request to place this ad, and let you guys know.
Okay.
It's very effective. It's accessed by many, many contractors.
Matt and I talked about that in the
Yep.
past, about becoming.
But even though they bid, we still get to have our DPW verify he goes along with that contractor or whatever?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be my review and him and his, and I'll make a recommendation based on that discussion. We will review it pre-hand, the bids, and then we'll make a recommendation back to the board.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's going nowhere.
Well, while you're up there, this water system mapping that we put on hold,
Yes.
did you give us an approximate cost for that?
Yes, there's a proposal back in May 27th of last year, I believe we sent to you.
The offices have been moved around a little bit now. Would it be possible for you to send us another copy of that?
Sure.
I'm sure I still have it if it was emailed.
$48.56 for the total mapping,
$4,856?
$4,856. $4,856.
Isn't that the same as 4856?
$48.56. Thank you, Ken.
Well, someone could be
Well, you had me
literal.
kind of confused there for a minute.
Someone could be literal and say, you said it was $48.56, so I took it to be $48.56.
I am sorry. $4,856. No sense.
Engineering.
Water park asbestos.
Yeah, that was sent to the board a while ago. I believe Don approached me about this again, and we have a proposal already, May 22nd, I'm sorry.
And that was something that we were looking into when we were doing the ISO ratings.
ISO
that we
requested
needed.
a map.
So that will help with
Yep.
our ISO ratings, because we did end up getting those drop down to
Yep.
6, so now that'll help to get them to drop down even further, so that's good.
Plus the DEQ, those now.
Right. With your meeting, that's what the DEQ
Yeah,
said, so
exactly.
it's like a gotta have on the must-have list, so add that.
Have you gotten any of your results back on the asbestos yet?
Yes. We do have some stuff that we have to deal with. Some paint, some asbestos, some stuff
That was in the garage,
yeah.
not in the cabins.
So we will.
Not the cabins?
The cabins, we did
They
not
didn't
do
do it.
a survey,
Just the garage.
just the garage. Because the cabins were down. And the board did not want to spend money to just find out there are asbestos anyway. So we're treating everything
As is.
that it has asbestos, and that's how the state wants us to deal with it.
Anybody else?
Well, with regard to the discussion on engineers report section on the agenda, I make a motion to amend our agenda policy to include the engineers report as a section on our agenda.
And where would you like to put that?
New business number 2, discussion on engineers report. I'm just making a motion to approve that we,
Right.
oh, I'm sorry.
But I mean, where
Duh.
would you like to put it
I
on the
gotcha.
agenda?
Call me blonde.
I
It
think, go ahead.
It's normally during the public agenda, because there are no motions or approvals done. It's just a report, just like your
Right, that's what I
DPW
was
report,
thinking, to do it right
the
after
library
the,
report, whoever submitting reports to you.
right after the consent agenda before open session.
Are you referring to it being in the first portion of the meeting or after the public
In the
comments in
first
the
portion.
end?
First portion,
Okay.
because it's
First.
part of your reports, part of your
Right.
package.
Okay.
That's
Well, while you're up there and you're answering questions,
Sure.
Could I,
since we're treating those cabins as asbestos,
Uh-huh.
have you got any kind of an idea what it was gonna cost to go ahead and maybe apply for a grant for a brownfield? Because soon as the cabins are gone, we're still gonna have the dirt there.
And I have just the guy for you.
I'll bet you do. Do we have any idea what the cost is so that we can apply for a grant?
I can talk to Nick. Nick Maloof is, he's an attorney, and he is our expert in brownfield redevelopment. I'll have him put a synopsis for you of how much it's gonna cost. And if there is a possibility, we'll go at it.
Good question, Ken.
Well, I don't wanna wait, and then all of a sudden we're at a standstill again.
all right, I would like to renew my motion to amend the agenda policy to include the engineer's report on the agenda. And I'm sorry, were you saying before the open session or after?
Before the open.
Before the open session portion of the agenda.
Can I get a second?
Sure.
Matt Cottrellville. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, item number 3, motion to allow Tractor Club to donate table with seats for the Shortcut Road Park, for the Township Hall Park, I call it. Okay, you all have your your drawings here?
Pretty drawings. It's like that artist work, and it's all just rendering. It's not indicative of what's actually gonna be there. It's just a vision. But it's gonna be pretty close. It more looks like a teacup than a table, I think. Well, we have a number of memorials out there already that have been approved in the years past. We're a local tractor club. We have members through Cottrellville, Clay Township, in Algonac and around. And we participate in a lot of the programs throughout a lot of the cities and townships around here. We're a bunch of podunk people, got tractors, and we got attention deficit. We just love to do all sorts of different things. Subsequently, we've had members that have passed away, and we loved them dearly, and that's, so we want to put memorials up for them. We had, years ago, we've chosen your park to start our memorials, to put it up. It's to beautify your park, for us to come by and see and, just say hi and, and whatever we want to, do. I'm out here most of the time through the summer and that, stirring up the mulch and weeding them out and stuff, along with some of the rest of the members of the club that we come in and we visit them. This member that passed, that this memorial is for, was one of the founding members of the club. He was there when it first started. Started with 5 members. Super nice guy and everything. What we would like to do is, what we're proposing is out here just to the right of the garage where the 2 paths come together. There's a spot that's high enough to put this in there. I've walked the rest of the park, and where it falls off on the side, it's just not conducive to what we would like to put up there because it sits low and there's a lot of standing water on the edge. Here, I thought it would be nice because it could be used by the township personnel here to, if they want to go out and have lunch, they can sit on a table and look over the park and still be able to get back. And for another reason is because the parents of this member are still alive and they are elderly people and they cannot get out and walk a distance to it. But they would like to go out there just to visit their son. And I think it'll be a nice spot. It's high and you can see the whole park. It's going to be a table. It's going to be a wagon wheel table with a smaller wagon wheel footrest around the bottom. And we have tractor seats. They're going to come up, and we're looking at like an old hay rake. The tines come up to where the seats sit on. So it's going to I don't know what you call it, like barn light style. It's gonna, and there's gonna be pine trees. We like to plant, he liked pine trees, so we like to put a couple pine trees around it. One, so, you know, it's, the traffic coming by, it would take the noise of the traffic, you can still see the park and kinda, you know, make it a nice little picturesque park. We do all the maintenance on it. Like I say, there's a group of us that come by. You'll see my Dodge truck out here once in a while cleaning it up and tending the sites, along with we check in on the one with the flagpole with the Boy Scouts and the soldiers and stuff. So, and what's beautiful about it, there is no roll call vote or anything. We don't have to discuss nothing about money because it's not going to cost the township anything. This is all stuff, because it's our memorial, it was our member that passed away. This is stuff that we put together ourselves. This is from the membership of our club, going forth and getting the materials, welding it up, placing it, and we don't ask for a dime. What we're asking for is permission to put it there and, you know, to be able to come in and keep it maintained. And along with our enjoyment, the enjoyment of the township, the people of the township, everybody in the township. And that's, yes, sir.
Would it be possible, or would it inconvenience the club if your location maybe kind of conflicted with maybe what Parks and Rec have in mind for the park? Maybe there was gonna be a ball field or something down here. Could yours be moved if the grade was brought up to where you wanted it to be? Say if they wanted to put it on that little section in between the two gazebos,
He's talking about the garage.
this is right out here.
Yeah.
And this would be where your ball field would be if you were gonna put another
He's
ball.
talking about putting it right here to the right of the
ball,
garage.
no, I don't think it would conflict with the ball field, because it's gonna be just, actually, it's gonna be a little bit beyond the dumpster.
I'm not on Parks and Rec, I'm just asking if, should they decide that they would like to have it in a different location in the park, would it be a major inconvenience to the tractor club to maybe put it somewhere else if the grade was brought up to wherever you wanted it?
We could probably work with that. We'd
I'm
like-
not saying it would,
yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, we
we're not,
can-
we're not gonna make a decision for the Parks and Rec, they're the ones that are running the parks.
Right. No, we can, I don't think it'll be an issue.
Yeah, if you need it brought up because it is low because of the water or something, if the grade was brought up to where it was satisfactory to you, would that be a major inconvenience? It's a great idea to have it.
I don't think it'd be a major inconvenience.
Okay,
I
just
would like, you know,
let them
Yeah,
determine it
but
instead of us.
as they're going through it, you know, relatively close enough to the parking lot where they would park and to walking distance, because some of the people that would come to look at this, like the parents, Tom Vandenbosch, he's about this tall and he has to have a brace to
It
even
would
stand
actually be
up.
closer if they put it over there between the two gazebos to the parking area.
Yeah, I mean, if that's
But
where.
again, that's up to the Parks and Rec.
Okay, yeah, that would, then I have no, I don't think it would be an issue. I really don't. No,
Well, you keep up your stuff very nice. The memorials you
Yeah.
have in there, you keep them up very nice.
thank you, thank you.
Are you gonna have your gathering here at the park again this year? The tractors on display and where you have a tractor day here?
That was with your picnic. That was a couple other people that were here. This, I wasn't aware of the picnic, dates and the times of the picnic to bring it up into the club. But we, in the years past, a few years back, we were here for the
Yeah, I was here
the picnic and
attended,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, the dates for that, if I get the dates for that, I can, we have a meeting coming up here in another week or so, 2 weeks, and then I can bring it up at that point. Also, we can put it on our schedule, because a lot of us live local, we live really close around here. And we did have fun that one year that we were here. I mean, it was
Yeah.
hot.
Well, I make a motion then that we let the tractor club donate the tables and chairs and the trees to the park.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Sandy seconded that one.
Okay.
Do we get it?
We should do them together. All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, great.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, will, discuss with the Parks and Rec about the pricing of it and that. So you're
Who's
good.
Parks and Rec?
That Amy is the secretary and where is?
The
oh,
gentleman
there's
back there with the
Tony's back
Detroit
there. I
hat
didn't
on,
see
Tony
him.
is,
That, I was, this
Go
what I was,
green.
I was looking
gonna
for
get
him,
along.
I couldn't see him behind, because the man was blocking him.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 4, motion to approve resolution R 2015-03, Road County,
That should be county, not
County
town.
Road Commission right-of-way maintenance, that's our every year right-of-way. Bring back memories. So, does anybody
Make
have?
a motion to approve
Okay.
Resolution R 2015-03.
Can I get a second?
I'll
please?
second.
Any discussion?
this is just like the one we've had every other year, isn't it?
Yes.
Ready?
Yep. Any more discussion?
Yeah, who crossed off part about the certificate of protection?
Tanya, the lady from the road commission. See, it's on the original. Any more discussion? That means all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call vote. It's a
Oh, yeah, it's a
resolution.
resolution. Dang, roll call votes are gonna count.
No money.
Ken,
Yes.
Lori, yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes. Item number 5, discussion on policies. We had a conversation at the last meeting regarding our policies, and Matt and I had a conversation before about working together to form a policy handbook, because we could find one. The one that I had found in the past was this one. There's writing all over it, and it doesn't say when, if it was adopted, if it wasn't, it's, stuff is crossed off. When I looked at it, to me, it looked like just something that somebody was working on. And is that what your feeling was on that too? That this is the one that we just thought somebody was working on, we didn't know what was with it? So Matt and I had said that we would work together on coming up with a policy book, and Matt came up with a starter
That's what it is.
of policies, so, I'd like to have a meeting. I don't care if it's a policy workshop or whatever you guys wanna call it, so that we can get some of these in place and maybe, go back in the last, since we've at least been aboard, and, see, and maybe Vi can help us with some of the ones that they have, or we can even get, I don't even care, if you guys wanna have like a policy committee, whoever wants to help, can help besides just
I would
Matt
like to see,
and I.
in the development of policies, the people who are gonna be affected by the policy at least have some input, because
Exactly.
it'd be more constructive, people who would know what's going on and how things work, and if the policy would work or hinder them more than it helped.
Right.
So-
So with regards to, okay, hey, here's a good idea on this policy, well, it affects the treasurer's department, so then we run it by Sandy, or if it affects the clerk department, or,
So if a public person wanted to input something for a policy, they're welcome to attend and give us their feedback?
especially, I think that's especially useful with the past board members and residents that just have knowledge about it. Like, for example, Mr. Barnes with the compensation, and the past board members, I just think that would be useful and a win-win for everybody. So, yep, go ahead.
Just in light of the last meeting and the discussion that we had on that, I was fortunate to be allowed to go to the MTA convention in Grand Rapids and bought the disc and policy manual. So basically, what she's saying, this booklet was just downloaded and plugged in our input to the best. And what the intent of it, in my mind and vision, is to be the most responsible government here for you people. Right? And to say we don't have a policy or procedures, I think is irresponsible. It's the way I look at it. So I do agree with the input from everybody in here because we're all in it. And when, in reviewing this, and with my past experiences, you should review these yearly, generally around a budget time, or any changes and so forth, to make sure we're up to date and concurrent with what we're supposed to be doing. So that's why I personally would like to see this put in place as promptly as possible. And obviously, get everybody's input. We have people here that work every day and should be following proper protocol and procedures so that run as most efficiently as we can. So that's my objective to this, and obviously I'll do whatever I can to help.
Do you want to chair the policy committee?
I'd be happy to.
Okay, so then, just in discussion, so Matt can chair it. And then, would you like, for residents or whomever would like to be part of that, do we want to have a committee of like 5 people, or do we just want to have people want to be involved and they, you know, here's the date of the policy committee? How do you want to do that?
Well, this is a guideline. This is MTA's guideline. Some of it will be pertinent to us, some of it won't be. But I think we as a board should just set a date, a workshop, as you use the word, to review it. Obviously, the 3 ladies up here work every day, and they should have a lot of input to it because it could affect them.
Well, the bottom line is eventually, if we adopt it, the board is the one who adopts it, so you need to be able to look at it and understand what it is we're trying to say. This is now the policy.
Right, and that's why I think everybody should be involved, and obviously, if we have some input from people outside there, why not take it?
So we're gonna have, so if we have a policy workshop, kind of hold it, I'm trying to establish the guidelines for how it's gonna be with residents.
It won't all happen in one meeting anyways.
No.
It'll
Right.
be a good start to see who wants to participate, who has some ideas and some input. You know, Vi would probably be the best one to have suggestions and help for any of the guidelines there that MTA has. So. find
So
out
how
her
about
suggestions.
just if somebody's interested, call you or me, or
Contact-
you,
yeah.
your chairperson.
And let's sit down and
then-
discuss things, formulate a plan, and
Something we might want to consider is, as a board, is for all of us, to look through this packet and pick out maybe 3 to 5 or 10 that we feel needs to have attention to first.
Okay.
For instance, I'd like to see the credit card policy tweaked. I would
Me
like
too.
to see, we need the policies on
Cemetery.
the cemetery,
Yeah.
how we're gonna deal with, boy,
How-
I can't even, there's so many here, I can't even come up with examples.
Well, how about if we do, it gives, maybe like something like April 2nd, have a policy workshop it's a Thursday. Does that affect that's not and then that gives the board members time to go through this, pick out your whatever, 5, 10, whatever you want, and then bring it to the workshop. Matt and I and whomever wants to join us can join
Have it
us.
maybe 6 o'clock in the evening, so.
Right,
other-
so that people that are at work, does that work for you? Do you have anything going on that day?
I'm good, that'll work.
Okay,
Vi, how's that sound to you?
I can't see it. Does that sound? And anybody else that wants to join,
That was 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock, April 2nd? Yes, at 6 o'clock.
Do something with your consultant that day also. Sure, Matt mentioned.
During the day.
All right.
I am roasting.
Okay.
Yes, you may. Yes.
Sorry, just a comment. Normally, the way I've seen other boards do a policy manual workshop is it's formed by the entire board. because you have to adopt it. And it's a periodic meeting, set every month, every quarter, every whatever. It looks like you have a lot of work, so it may be more frequent. And it has to be an open meeting, and the public can participate. But this body will work on the manual. Normally, the board will work on the manual, and they meet on it periodically. And like Lori suggested, you will tackle one item at a time and just be done with it, approve it, move to the next.
Right,
And
so,
it's a dynamic, it's a live document because it's always changing. So
great, so we're on the right track by doing it. Thank you, Sir Ed. Yay,
Public meeting then on the second.
on the
You know,
second.
that's Easter week, and everybody has church, that's Monday, Thursday.
It-
I'm just saying,
Thursday night. It's only Thursday.
Okay. How about Tuesday, the 31st? Does that work?
Of April,
No, of March.
You back it up 2 days?
Yeah, back it up to.
that's okay.
And then that way, so it'll give us time to put some policies on the agenda for April. Okay.
How's that?
6 o'clock, does that still work for you? Or do you want it later?
No, 6 is okay. Ellen, is that,
Anyhow.
any reference
I have
to?
something on my calendar from 5:30 to 9, and I didn't write what it is, so if I can come, I'm gonna be here, sorry.
Well, if you
Why did I
can't,
write that?
do you have email?
Yeah.
Because we can scan you over. I mean, we can email you over
Yeah,
the
or I can-
policies.
it's on my dial.
Okay,
Everything that comes over takes so long for me to look at.
Do you
okay.
have an eraser?
But,
Yeah,
I-
it's
I'm
called
putting
this.
that down tonight.
No. Okay.
We can stop
So-
by, Ellen, and I can give
So
you a
you want to
copy.
stop by instead of us emailing it to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can't make it, if I figure out what else is.
Okay, and then we'll post it as well. So Tuesday, the 31st at 6 o'clock will be the policy workshop.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, are we done with that, everybody? Item number 6, approval of MTA dinner.
We approved Kelly back, I think in January or February, to go to the MTA St. Clair annual dinner. At the time, I couldn't go, but I did end up going. I'm just asking the board to approve $30 after the fact, kind of.
With regard to that, the Michigan Constitution states that you cannot incur the cost before you get approval. You have to have approval before you incur the cost. Otherwise, the township can't pay for it.
Okay, well, I talked to Jim Beelen from MTA. He said it's done all the time, as long as the board votes. That's why you vote on it.
Well,
It doesn't have to be approved. I mean,
Well, that's what
if
this
you don't
is.
think it's
Mr.
justified.
Lorestorther, who Matt and Ken have met, is the one who told me that you have to have board approval first. You can't incur it.
Do you have something from them? Say, Lori?
I don't have it right now. I didn't know this was gonna be on the agenda.
Well,
I'm just saying, Vi, do you recall the,
they said it's done all the time. I mean, things happen, that's why you vote. If you don't want to approve it, you don't.
I'll make a motion that we approve it to allow it. If it's not like it happens all that time.
Well, it's
Well, I-
something,
I
it's
just
something,
wanna
it's
make
something
sure
that we
it's-
approved already for one person. It wasn't like I'm going to the Bahamas.
right, but
After the
what I'm
fact.
saying is, and what I'm trying to stay legal is that I've been told by MTA attorneys that you cannot incur a cost and then ask for approval.
Well, I have it from
It says,
MTA, the same.
according to
different story.
Mr. Beelen, it says it
Well, it would have been
can,
nice to
but
have
it's
had that
dependent
before
on board
coming into
policy.
the meeting.
Well, I have the email from him.
Right, and this is the first I've seen it.
Well, he did, would it matter?
It says that the board has the
Yeah,
option
what does
of changing the policy.
We're not changing a policy, we are changing a
We're
vote.
just approving a dinner.
That's fine. We can vote on it.
Okay, so Ken made a motion to approve the payment of $30 for Sandy attending the MTA dinner.
Okay?
And can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Money.
Oh,
It's
money.
Roll call, Matt,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Kelly,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Lori, no, Sandy,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 7, accounts payable. Ken, did you have some questions?
Yeah, in going through some of the accounts, coming up on this next one, I asked Lori some, and we're going to try to get some of them itemized a little bit differently.
Okay, like, what would you like?
Are we looking at the not paid yet?
Yeah.
Right, because the ones that are paid, it's too late for,
Yeah, but if they're, well, yeah.
right?
Here, you wanna look at,
All right, where did it
wanna
go?
share?
And in some of these, we spoke with the DPW prior to the meeting, and it's not gonna be hard to get them all corrected, or get them itemized a little bit differently.
Okay, so what ones are we looking at that you wanna have itemized differently? I had a, well, you tell me what you're thinking first, and I'll tell you.
There was a couple of them that came through from, not from the DPW, but from Duluth, some of the billing. And we've already talked to Don, and he's gonna itemize them and make it a little easier to understand here.
I had a invoice that I made. Did I, it was last time, wasn't it? Or did I just hand it out to you? I can't remember. I just handed it out. I'll print it up again, and I asked Helen if she said, well, that they had it that way, and I said, well, this would be beneficial to the board, but I don't know what happened to it. So I will show her it again, because it has everything that we had talked about with regards to the house, the address. It's all
Okay.
in the
Well,
BSNA thing.
He's
And a work
talking
order
about-
number.
He's talking about the
Yes, it
Duluth.
has work order number and everything.
This is on some of the bills for the next
Do you
payment
remember seeing
period.
that I showed you?
The unpaid invoices.
Right. So I will
Which one are
find
these
that
ones?
again, and I should have printed 2.
Or the Duluth.
And
We don't have any say on how Duluth gives the bill. I mean,
We
can
have a
ask
say
for-
on
Yeah,
how we get an
We
invoice.
can ask for, I'm just saying, as the format of it, we can ask for more information.
Well, that's what I was
But that,
talking
I thought
about.
that was what Kelly was talking about.
She's
was
talking
this
about
what-
these sheets.
Right.
I'm
That's what I
talking
thought you
about
were
these sheets.
Okay.
This is what I talked to Don about.
Yeah, Don
Okay.
said that he would fix it. Right, Don? Thanks.
If you're talking about these sheets,
Yep,
that's,
and I'm
that's
talking
yours.
about those, so that they're all pretty consistent.
With
'cause
work
they're the
orders and,
same
okay,
right.
work order numbers. And I asked Lori also on the water, and she explained to me why there was a difference in the bills between IRA and Marine City.
Right. Which that's another reason why I wanted to have another budget, because we got their from IRA and Marine City, we didn't have that information at the last budget meeting as to what we can estimate our costs for next year.
If I can ask Don a question with regard to that? Sure. Don, how many water main breaks have we had in the last month?
4, 5, I don't know.
5.
So
I had one
we're
day.
gonna have a lot
Count
more.
today, we've had 5.
Yeah. That's more than, way more than normal, so.
Yeah. And we're working on that. We've talked with, did they talk with you about
We're
that?
not even into that part of the year.
Yeah, we'll get into that
Yeah.
later. Okay, so is that all you wanted to do, was talk about that? Are you
What
satisfied?
I'll do for Duluth, since we're at this meeting, I'm gonna give you a list, probably tomorrow or next day, of what tobacco costs per hour, cement per hour, and all you'll have to do is, it says on there, if you have a dump truck on there, you can do it yourself pretty well, that's all I did.
So a fee schedule is what
That'll be
you're,
a fee schedule, and it's time and a half from 4, time and a half to 7 on, 7 to 6 in the morning, time and a half. Before, I never used to do that. It used to be just a straight time, this is what it is, but that's the norm now. We've been bidding work for other townships, and we're right in the ballpark, so.
Okay.
I try to do the best I can for you guys. It is what it is. I mean, you got water leaks that we have to fix. We can't just say, well, we'll get board approval tomorrow, we'll fix it.
I don't think it was the price of the invoices, it was just a breakdown
No, that's
or
not a
clarification.
problem. No, that's not a problem. As you can see on the one invoice, I think it was on Avalon, that we wrote in there with time and a half, and we broke it down. But I'll break it down. I'll get you a worksheet. It'll be pretty simple, not a big deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the same price we charge St. Clair Township where there's DPW, so it's not like there's different charges.
Anything else? Think you're done. Item 8, budget.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the accounts payable and payroll, which is consent agenda item number 2, the clerk's reports.
Can I get a second?
What,
You want me to repeat that?
yeah, and explain it?
Yeah, normally what this is under the consent agenda, and under the consent agenda, you are approving the accounts, approval of the accounts payable and payroll, which are the clerk's reports. And since you took it off the consent agenda, it was not approved, so now we
Okay.
need to approve it. So I'm asking for approval of the accounts payable and payroll, which is the clerk's reports.
Since I took it off, I'll make the motion that we
I just made the
approve it.
motion.
Oh,
You
did you?
second.
Then I'll second it.
All right, and the spending of money, so Lori, yes.
Wait, question.
I'm sorry.
Question.
Sure.
We're backing up again, and this is what I brought up earlier in this. On some of these contracts, and you said the contract was voted on, so we can discuss it later. If you look at this, like I said, it's a detailed schedule of the work that was done. With all due respect, I was fortunate to talk with Don tonight. This doesn't reflect exactly what our attorney in the contract says. That's why I believe we should go back and discuss it. Obviously, I want to take care of our employees and understand correctly, because there's definitely a difference of opinion, and we had that discussion in the budgets. This payment is not inducive of what our attorney said. With the call-in,
Oh, right.
it's not, it's different, it's the complete 100% opposite of what he said. Now, I know we've done that in the past, and I surely don't want to shortchange anybody, but if that is what we're gonna pay, then we're paying, but we just violated the contract that we discussed.
Let me look at that one, because, Don, I spoke with Jonathan, and, let me make sure it's the right one.
It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, it's what's there, and what I want to just point out, when we see a contract, and it might be past history of how we've done things here, but usually a contract negotiated with Mr. Chop, Duluth, whoever, he's the president, and he's our DPW. In my estimation, and just in my experience, and maybe I can be corrected, our clerk and our supervisor negotiate the contract, their name's on the contract, as is his. I would, in my experiences, both parties sign it, bring it to the board, we rectify it, say yes. We ask the attorney if there's questions. It wasn't done. These contracts aren't signed. The lawyer said one thing, we passed it, and then we come back now, and it's the opposite of what was supposedly told to us and we voted on. So all I want to do is sit down and reconsider it with all parties involved, knowing what we're saying, agreeing to what we're saying. We used to call them TAs, and you initially line item, then you put the packet together, sign it. He's in agreement, you're in agreement, you bring it back to the board. Obviously not what happened here.
What you are looking at right here is the mileage only, it's not the pay here. If you pull out the pay, if you look at the pay for this is crossed off. He was not paid those 3 hours, because it is in conflict with the contract.
So then this
So what
doesn't-
you are looking at here is just the mileage.
No, I'm
he uses
saying
the-
hours worked 3,
However.
which would assume that he was paid.
I'm sorry, I should have explained that to you. Under accounts payable, we aren't looking at the hours worked. Don and Jonathan utilize one form for their expenses and their pay for the same thing. They submit this, I make a copy, one goes into the accounts payables, which is the mileage, because you don't take taxes out on somebody when they're being reimbursed.
Correct.
Which is what you're looking at here. But if you pull the one that's in the payroll, you'll see that that number 3 is crossed off and he was not paid for it.
Then how
So-
come we didn't see the one in payroll?
Because this is the accounts payable, and I neglected to cross it off in the accounts payable. I will do that from now on. But I had made, as soon as I get this, I make a copy of it. One goes into expenses, one goes into
So
payroll.
you split this, hours and mileage? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I have to. Hours worked is payroll. They get taxes taken out on
I
that.
understand that. We don't see that? Or is that back in the original?
That's under payroll.
But it
this
wasn't
is-
there.
If you want to see someone's timesheet, you can always come in and look at it. I don't normally stick it in here because it's a lot of extra paper that I have to add into these packets. If that's what you want in there, I have no problem making the copy, but normally we've never done that.
I'm just asking if that's what we do. We
Then can we make it to where you add it in from now on and then it won't be an issue? Can you add it in?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
It's
That's
just
what you
question,
want.
because it says it's here.
Right.
And this is, I mean, it's what I've seen. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, I've only been here since November,
Yeah,
but
well, after
it's
the meeting,
there.
I will show you on the payroll one, he was not paid for that.
Well, perfect. I want to get him paid for every dime he's owed.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Maybe we could come up with another form.
You got the motion in a second.
Okay, so I got the motion, got the second. All in favor?
Roll
Roll
call
call.
Oh,
vote.
yeah. Jeez, I even
Lori,
circled it.
yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
They're all gonna go roll call. I'm gonna fall asleep here and roll call. Okay, item number 8, budget adoption discussion. We had some more invoices come in with the water rates and several other things. So I would like to have a motion to have, or make a motion for another meeting before the 26th for Thursday, the 19th, yeah. Thursday, the 19th, either, you guys want morning or afternoon?
Morning,
I
8 o'clock.
I think I have something going on with my daughter at night, so morning is fine.
Okay, you're fine.
What time?
Why don't you do 10, so that way it gives you guys time to open up your office and do whatever?
10?
Well, they gotta come and open the office, unless you want 9:30. I don't.
Make it
I'm-
anytime you want. It's in the
I'm
middle
up
of the
at
day then.
4:30, so it doesn't matter.
You don't care if it's
I
9,
have no
you guys
pro,
don't
I
care?
have no problem.
I don't care. You
Well,
don't
let's
care?
I
make
can
it
be
8.
here at 6:30,
Sandy,
so.
I don't know if I can do it.
Well, we can start without you.
You're right.
8 o'clock.
Well, we can take a vote on
I
8
can't be here
o'clock, but
before
you won't be able to do
Can't
it
be
before
before
9, and I won't be able to do it.
Okay,
So 9 o'clock on the 19th?
I'll try to be here.
Alrighty.
No, in regards to this meeting, and that's why I brought this up also, don't we have to, as best possible, reconcile all the numbers to use the most accurate number to come up with the most accurate budget for the following year?
Absolutely.
Our last budget meeting, we were, lack of a better word, guessing, and it doesn't seem fair to the people, and doesn't surely seem fair to the board to know where we're at. We don't see monthly where we're at and how things are, and obviously, I think we can do a better job of that. I think we should.
And that is where, I had asked Lori with what we're waiting on with the accounting. I said we absolutely have to have that done by.
By Tuesday.
I mean, the auditors, I'm sorry, by Tuesday, because I can't present a budget unless that's done. And I'm not going to. So that is, she's contacting the auditors and telling them that the
I
issues
need- that I
that
need an
we're having
answer.
with them
Yeah,
have
that
to
I
be
need an
done.
answer.
Is it
Otherwise, I'm
possible to
gonna
get
call
one of the
John.
auditors to come and attend the meeting,
The budget meeting?
the budget meeting? So, just like Matt said, the last meeting, we threw a lot of numbers around, we didn't achieve a single thing. This way, they can tell us yes or no, it'll work, it won't work.
They won't do that. They,
They've already given us the paperwork.
it's
What
just a
numbers need
matter
to
of
go where.
the numbers being inputted into the program is what we're waiting on.
Well,
I'm
okay.
waiting for valid GL numbers. I can't input amounts if I don't have a valid GL number. So,
Did you get the paperwork, the email that I sent you from me?
No.
I'll resend it to you,
Okay,
because I'm thinking that that's what made me think that maybe we didn't get it. What did regards to the general fund and all that, you didn't get that one? Okay, I'll send that to you.
When you're referring to the numbers, Sandy, those are the numbers for the adjustments made by the auditors, correct?
Right.
So
They
we need to
gave me
contact
their-
the auditors promptly so we can do it, right? Because we obviously have to.
I've been asking for Sandy's been helping getting those numbers, trying to get those numbers. We've been asking since October. And I was told that for $120 an hour, someone can create those numbers for me. I know how to create the numbers. I need a valid fund, a valid department, and a valid activity. And I've gotten no answers on that. So finally, he gave me some of them, but he gave me 2 out of 4 on one item, and I need all the GL numbers. I don't need just 2 of them. I need all of them. Otherwise, the numbers go nowhere.
No, we need them all, we need them all input.
Yeah,
So,
so-
well, what's our plan of attack, I guess, then, so that we can get
I'm-
it done?
I'm gonna talk to his superior,
Okay,
and I'll do that tomorrow.
thank you.
Okay, so 19th at 9. Excuse me.
If you get the numbers. If you don't get the numbers, there's
I'll
no
get
point
the
in meeting.
numbers.
No, we're
I'll
down
get
to
the
the
numbers.
count, we have to have it. All right. Item number I, public comments. Do you have your, are you ready?
Yeah.
Anybody wishing to address the board on public comments?
I'm gonna make this as fast as I can. I do not have enough time to cover everything. I came here tonight, in a sense, to ask Kelly to resign because of the publicity we've had. We've had it in 3 local Michigan papers. It was in an Indiana paper, and I got a phone call from my son from North Carolina who read it on Facebook pages about, because he's tied up with the Green City School. Okay. I believe in giving everybody a chance and everything like that. I know we have the budget meeting. I think we need to ask that everybody tries to follow and look into the procedures more properly. We had a rush to get the Compensation Commission report out because according to the rules, you cannot post a budget unless you have that from your Compensation Commission so that you know the salaries. So we got it into everyone tonight. And for everyone to know, we recommended no raises, okay? As is. We also did put down there that Kelly was within her rights to have a deputy supervisor, but when we made out the report originally, we made it out not based on Kelly, Tom, or anybody. It was based on the job. And everybody was asked to submit any additional duties, okay? And they were all taken into consideration. And now they're not all handled by Kelly, so, but she's still getting the same pay. So that's why we recommended no raises, okay? I wanted to ask real quick, Matt addressed it a little bit. The MTA budget audit was conducted. It also says that our books must be balanced before we can make a budget, and those figures have to be in. So how can you make a budget or have a budget approval meeting when you don't have the figures entered yet, okay? And I wanted to follow up on one other thing here. Are we renting out our facilities here for the church that came in and wanted to have it on Sundays? Are we doing that? Nobody knows, okay? That would be something to follow up on.
You can call me and I can talk to you about that.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, I am concerned about our township. We don't have any young people that really want to get involved. They don't want to go through all this aggravation. Just some of us old, retired people that can just crawl on the ground, that's the only ones you're going to get. But we should ask more. We redid our offices, I understand. Well, did we do them on our payroll, on your time that you're supposed to be working on township business? Or could we have got somebody to come in and help as volunteer? Thank you.
First, I want to thank you, Ken, for making recognition to the Parks and Rec tonight about getting involved with the farm guys. I knew nothing about it, never got no packets. Nobody ever said nothing to me. Nobody ever called me. This is the same thing I said about 3 months ago when I got up here. I'm not informed on anything. I can't do my job. It's frustrating, okay? I'm at the point that I just want to resign because I'm not that kind of person, all right? When I do a job, I do it 200%, and I can't do anything. I don't even know, I can't even present a budget. I don't even know how much money I'm going to have this year to hold events, and I keep looking like, you know, what's Tony doing? I keep getting, you know, people call me up, what are you doing this year? You doing this, you doing that? And nobody's calling me to let me know how much money I have to work with, okay? Second of all, nobody's brought it up, but Sir Med said a couple months ago at the park, on the new part, that it was presented a year ago that there was he submitted a bid on the asbestos over there, I believe. I guess my question is, how come it wasn't done and we're dealing with it a year later and it's costing us more money? Because now we didn't do it and take care of business the way we were supposed to. A year ago, we could have had all that stuff inspected over there. I knew nothing about it. I wasn't informed on it. I'm left out of all the meetings. So I'm just letting the people know that I'm not informed on all this, and I think that it should have been inspected a year ago. I tracked down Bob Armstrong. It took me 2 months to call him up. He's the contractor that did the new park over there. It took me 2 months to track him down because I wanted to know what was going on, because I got no information from these people, all right? I'm about done with it. I want to resign, and I really don't want to give up on the people of the township, because I'm here to serve the people and the children of the township, and that's what I've done, and I can't do it anymore. So
Please stay.
I'm just letting you know my true feelings and the way I feel. I brought it up to the board. I've talked to you about it till I'm blue in the face. And I'll talk to you, Kenny, this weekend. Not about this, but other things. And Bob Armstrong told me, he told me each person that knew that there was asbestos over there before they even tore down the cabins.
Time's up, Tony.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
You're welcome.
I'm Vi Paff, Cottrellville Township. I have a question. Back in 2011 or 2012, an umpire from Royal Oak donated to the Park and Recs here a lawnmower that was almost brand new, and it was in the garage here to be used for the baseball diamond. It was of no charge to us, but it was for the Park and Recs, and it was in the garage when I left here. Is that still out there, or what happened to it?
I don't know, I've never been in
Can
the
I
garage.
respond to that, Kelly, since I know the answer? Sure. It's still in the garage.
It is? Does the Park and Recs know that that lawnmower is theirs?
Well, I don't really want to go back and forth, but I don't think any of us knew that it was for the Parks and Rec.
Yep. Okay, as long as they know it's there for them.
When we had the auditors come in, they always did journal entries. It wasn't for me, it was for Vi to do. But they always had a listing of them. And I can't understand that you didn't get a list of the journal entries. That's all your errors, your corrections, your debits, your credits. It has to be done. I've never worked anywhere that didn't have auditors give you your corrections and have to do it. The general ledger has to be balanced before you can do a budget. That's it.
Could I respond to that, please, Kelly? Bev,
Yeah.
if you could meet with me after the meeting, please. If you can meet with me, I'll show you what I was given. Oops, sorry.
Tell me when you're ready.
Go.
Okay. January 6th, I had a conversation with you, Kelly, and I know you can't respond, but you did respond January 7th with a message to me per our conversation and my verbiage of litigation. I want to correct you. That's not true. I did not say that at all, and you know it. I discussed with you some findings on the credit card, and you didn't want to talk about it at all. So, as we speak, there is an open investigation by the Michigan State Police. What their findings will be, I have no clue. I'm not a police officer, I'm not an investigator, but I'm a concerned citizen from what I see on there from the swiping of our credit card. I like the fact that somebody, I don't know who was listening, is looking at policies. For 2 years, you guys have not went by any policies because you couldn't find them. Now, if it were your money, you definitely want to make sure that it was being spent properly. And I don't think it was on a few occasions. Last month you said you are a huge fan of documentation. I'll call your bluff because there was a lot of documentation that was real shoddy when you turned it in. So with that being said, I would hope that we would maybe suspend your privileges, this board would, to our credit card until either A, we have a new policy in place, or B, until the end of the investigation, either one. So it does look like you have a lot of work to do with the policies that I see very thick. Hopefully it doesn't go awry like it did in 2014 when you guys started looking at this and nothing happened. It seems like every time you start something, it never gets finished. And I as well would hope that you would resign. Controversy seems to follow you, and I would hope that what you said in the beginning of the meeting, you're going to take responsibility. I would hope that you would take responsibility here too. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just want to add real quick to what Barb had said about the whole conversation with the credit cards. Our response, a response back to us was that this board was not allowed to talk to us or to meet with us per the attorney until his determination. It's been over 2 months. As I explained to the attorney, and I know you guys can't answer for him, but there's no litigation from us. That's, you know, whatever. I would like somebody to ask when the board that my taxes pay for is allowed to respond to my questions again, because I think that's ridiculous. Your personal life is your personal life. The stuff with the cabins being tore down, and I didn't know, over 2 years on this board, you board members need to know what the heck you're doing before you start spending our money. I also think you need to resign now. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I would just like to say that the CPAs, as part of their meeting and closing out the audit, should have provided a report letter or a management letter that gives a layout of everything that should be reviewed or adjusted for more controls. With that, the journal entries, it'll give more of an idea. I think typically that responsibility, at least with larger CPA firms I've dealt with, falls on the day-to-day people to fix, but the CPAs can probably walk you through it. Secondly, Parks and Rec, I mean, the lawnmower, we had no idea, and the whole management report, the 5-year plan, Parks and Rec didn't get that until 3 months ago, which we could have been working on all of those items this whole time, so, thank you.
First of all, I'd like to say that, it's a shame that communication wasn't there with Parks and Rec, because the, township volunteers is what it's about. It keeps this township going. I've lived here all my life, and I'd like to reiterate about, having Kelly resign, because, it embarrassed the township, embarrassed her, and embarrassed everybody in the township.
Anybody else? Okay, with regard.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see.
It'll take me the 3 minutes to get up there, so don't start the clock.
I'll wait for you, Tom.
Thank you. You know, I haven't attended any of these meetings for quite a while. And it's really, really bad to come out here and see what's happening to our township. I'm gonna get right into a little problem that I've had, and I would like, before I leave the podium, to get an answer and not be put off any longer. Marine City just filed a petition to have an account set up to receive monies for a fundraiser. They have to do that, that's the law. Anytime a board member, a supervisor, or somebody wants to raise funds, they have to set up an account in that name. We had a little problem with a young lady with a family being burned out on Shea Road not too long ago. We tried to donate money, but I couldn't find who to give it to there. Lo and behold, there's an article in the paper that says Pacelli began organizing donations for clothes and other items the family will need. Before are staying in a family member with a family member for now. Due to the lack of storage space, she is requesting gift cards and cash to be distributed by her. Now, what I did personally, and my wife and my 10-year-old grandson, is we put 20, 20, and $10 in an envelope, put it in the drop box. It was picked up out of the drop box by Connie. Connie was instructed to bring this money into the supervisor for her to distribute to somebody that we don't know. As of this minute, this woman has not received my $50, and I don't know how many other people's money has not been received. My question to you is, where's my money?
If your money was in an envelope, I don't know if it was in an envelope. She's received everything that was given to her. We had it all put in the bag. I did not.
So you're telling me that Connie is a liar?
No, I did not open
Yes.
envelopes.
Is
So I
Connie
don't
a
know.
liar?
Not to my knowledge, but I'm.
Well,
not gonna
wait a
debate-
minute, is Connie a liar?
I'm not gonna debate with you here.
You're not gonna debate because you have a problem. I wanna know where my money is.
I'll be happy to discuss it with you another time.
No, I wanna know tonight. For 2 months, or for 2 weeks, I've been trying to get this information, where my money is. Mr. Chartier,
Yes, sir.
We're not addressing the reference.
The residents. It's a meeting for the residents. Yes, sir.
what are we gonna do about this? Apparently, she is not worthy of handling the money for the township. And you people are gonna sit here and let her get away with it?
No, we're not. She did say that she would discuss it with you after the meeting, if you would stay on long enough. If you're unhappy with that, let us know on our next meeting, and we will address it if it's not resolved and/or you're satisfied with
Well, what,
Whatever
all I wanna
the
know is where my money went to.
Well, I
What-
mean, the rest of the board, obviously, I have no idea.
Was
where
there
it
a
is.
check, somebody said there was a check deposited?
I know nothing about it.
Oh,
Did you send a check or cash?
it was cash. Cash. Now, come back to me that there was a check. It was not a check, it was cash.
Oh, I thought you said a check.
No,
Cash?
cash. I said 20, 20, and 10, that's $50. I carry cash. I buy guns, I buy silver, I buy gold, and I always carry $3,000 to $4,000 with me. So I have cash with me all the time. That's why we did it that way.
It might have been deposited into our, we do have a fund, like a donation fund. It was for the food bank. Maybe my deputy Connie, the one you were referring to, maybe she put it in there. I'll have to look into it.
But
Because we do have a lot of donations. I mean, we used to have a lot more donations when we did the food banks.
is that legal?
Yes.
It is.
For food banks, I mean,
Oh, okay.
for our food bank, maybe
But
she
for
missed.
what about Pacelli's project here?
Well, maybe she just put it in there, thinking that was a donation.
Well, it's an irregularity, and I'm not accustomed to dealing with irregularities. Never. In my businesses, in everything that I've done and what I stand for, and the people of this township deserve better.
I wish you would have called the treasurer's office, because that's where the money
Wait
comes
a
from.
minute, I did.
I haven't talked to you about this.
I talked with Connie. Connie says she couldn't get into our illustrious supervisor. She wouldn't answer the phone. She wouldn't talk to me. Nobody would. I tried to talk to her, and she wouldn't come to the phone. So I tried, and I'm sorry. Maybe I'm in the wrong church.
I'll look into it, and I'll get back to you.
Thank you. That's all I'm asking.
I never was told I had a phone call.
It's gotta be somewhere. It just got posted into a wrong account. We can't just keep cash and leave it out. So it's somewhere in the safe. Maybe Connie didn't know, you know.
Well, Connie's not a liar.
No,
She
she's
said-
not. Connie's
Connie
wonderful.
says to me, Tom, I saw your name. It said, God bless Jaden, Cam, and Tom. Santo, phone number. Usually, when we make a donation to anybody for anything, we always get a thank you back. I haven't heard a thing from this so-called lady that you're supposed to be giving the money to.
I don't receive any cash. That's their.
Pardon what?
I don't receive any cash from anybody.
Why did you have Connie give it to you?
Connie did not give it to me, that's what Sammy's telling you.
I'm thinking that Connie might have deposited it into our donation
Well,
fund.
she said she said, is Connie here?
No.
She said she gave it to you, and I believe her before I believe you.
Well, that's your prerogative.
It is my prerogative. Okay,
I'll get back with you,
We'll move
okay?
on.
I will get back with you.
thank you. Thank you
Thursday.
for your time, folks.
Thank you.
All right, moving on.
Terrible.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
It is terrible.
Okay.
Do I want to do my supervisor comments, or do we just want to adjourn? Because I can do the credit cards. Okay.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.